then you blew it.
That is the most absurd statement of the year.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, baby.
I'm in my zone, I'm feeling it.
Live from West St. Paul Studios, it's time for MinneZona Sports Live with DJ Matty C and Paul the Shield Vold.
And this is MinneZona Sports Live. We are back. Yes, episode 262, baby. We are back and ready to roll. And without further ado, I am your host, DJ Matty C, a.k.a. Matt Callahan, a.k.a. Callie, a.k.a. Matty C, etc., etc., etc. And we are doing this show on a Tuesday. Yes, on a Tuesday. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there as well. And none other than the guy that is sitting over in Granite City Studios in St. Cloud, Minnesota, Paul Volta. Shield, what's going on there, Shield?
Not really a whole lot other than the fact that we have reached this wonderful holiday time of season, and why not the weather reciprocate and everybody forgets instantly how to drive once the snow and the slush does return. It is that wonderful time of year again. And I made sure I gave myself plenty of time when picking up the kids from daycare and from school as well, just to make sure that I didn't end up in an accident, and gave everybody a little benefit of the doubt. But at least we have Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, Voldy, as well as you, the zoners, as well. Well, Voldy, let's start off before we get into our negatives here, because there are a lot of negatives here tonight, unfortunately. But a little bit of positive note. Pick'em. By the way, thank you again, guys, for doing Pick'em this year. It has been fantastic. You guys have done a great job.
Been awesome. Yeah. Yes.
You guys are really, taking it to this year. I feel like there's more focus. There's more focus.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a winner. We do, in fact, have a winner this week, and that being, we better do the drum roll here, Voldy, because we can't not do it, right? I mean, come on. So, let's go. Jason Schmitz, yes, he gets the W this week.
As if this week couldn't get any better, especially riding high after a Rams victory on Sunday night. Let's throw in a pair of sweatpants on top of it, too.
Why the heck not? I mean, it's good for him. I'm sure he's quite happy about the victory. The thing is, we have to order his sweatpants, unfortunately, because Jason is a small guy. He's a small guy.
All I'm saying is, though, I do have a pair of 2Xs readily available.
That's right.
Thanksgiving is Thursday.
Black Friday.
Hey, you need to have the comfy pants ready to go. Your stretchy eating pants and everything. We're not going to be trying after, about 6 o'clock or so Thursday night to try and fit in the nice clothes or whatever. Why not have a little extra space in the sweatpants? I'm just saying.
Why the heck not? Why the heck not? I love it. And, get those picks in this week, too. Let's take a look at our leaderboard now. Voldy, it's getting down to it. We had Matt Johnson lead the way last week, but he has fallen. Down just a peg. Not. Okay. I mean, he's not a. But the defending champ, Tyler Hermann, is leading the way. Okay. He's going for title number 2 this year in Pick'em, and it's going to come down to whether or not they're able to get these picks right these nights, because it's going to get tough. It's going to get even tougher here. So Matt Johnson just right by. So 1,200 points for Tyler Hermann. Matt Johnson 1,190 points. 1,180 points for Stuffage, and RJ the same point total there. So keep getting those picks in. We will keep you up to date on everything in regards to that. And yeah, we'll go from there. Yeah, I know who this is. It's our good friend Alex. Is that a Packers jersey? No, it's not a Packers jersey. It's
Wilds.
a Wild jersey. Come on,
Wilds.
man. Know your
Read the room.
teams, bro.
Read the room.
No, it is not a Packers. We will get into that in a second. But Voldy, before we get into the hot take, which is going to be unfortunately cold this week, but it is what it is. But we announced this last week. You will be seeing this probably tomorrow at some point. But what better way to get your Black Friday shopping going by getting these bad boys? Yeah! The Minnesota Wildcats, the Vikings, the Gophers. You guys know what to do. Hit us up. Voldy's got them right here, as well as you can take a look fumble. Gophers, Vikings, and Wild. So make sure we got more on the way. So don't forget we've got more on the way.
We're working on some stuff. Yep.
Yeah, we are. So make sure you talk to one of us. You know the deal. We'll get you set up.
And we're hoping as well for all those St. Thomas Academy graduates that those hats made it safe and sound to Matt as well. So we're hoping that get those out to the people there.
Have to do some investigating.
Yep.
Investigation. So we'll see what happens there. Alex says, just making sure 9 can't be that bad to make you change teams. No, I'm never going to change teams, whoever is bad with that. But that's a perfect segue, though. Voldy, the Minnesota Vikings, lose to the Green Bay Packers this past week, I should say. We have a lot to say about it, and we're curious what your guys' thoughts are as well, so please let us know in the chats as well. Your thoughts and anything you want to talk about in regards to that. It was very disappointing, to say the least. Voldy has some things he wants to get off his chest, too, about the scrutiny, that being of J.J. McCarthy, and some other things. I've got some thoughts as well. So we will go through it together and go from there. Unfortunately, the Gophers did lose as well this past week to Northwestern in a close one at Wrigley Field, Voldy. You know it very well. It was a good game. It's just they lost. And
I wouldn't even say it was a good game, but again, we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes.
That's a good idea. So, Infinity rankings tonight. I'll go through each NFL team. You guys let me know if you think my ranks are good, trash, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be fun. We got that going tonight, and then ARA got a stacked ARA as always tonight. Voldy has got the Minnesota Lynx get the number 2 pick in the WNBA draft. Let's go. Shouts out to the Lynx and getting the second pick. We really love it. That's great. It's good news. The Rangers and Mets swap Simeon and Nemo. So we'll talk about those guys as well. That big trade in the MLB. Aaronrodgers back in time for the game against the Bills this week? Possibly. We'll see. It's leaning towards yes from what I have found out. Shedeur shines, but not enough for QB1.
Change that. That's on me.
We'll talk about it. Yeah. Well, Illuminati, Voldy. Norvell to remain with Florida State for 2026. We will round things off with that, talk about it. And then you guys know the deal. We've got those awesome Shield shoutouts tonight. Full list of Shield shoutouts that Voldy will go through. So, with that being said, let's just get to it. Let's get this over with. It is time for some Tater Tot Hot Take.
Fresh out of the oven, it's Tater Tot Hot Take.
All right, it is time for Tater Tot Hot Take. You know the deal. We usually start off with this during the football season because, well, it's a team that everyone has been looking at. The Minnesota Vikings fall to the Green Bay Packers 23-6 in a very disappointing game. I think it pretty much started in that awful second half. The first half wasn't terrible. There were some things that we didn't like, but we will discuss in depth here in a little or through the segment. I was trying to, come up with like words to give encouragement and preach that, it sucks now, but we're going to figure this out. This is going to be. I really don't have anything to say but this, and I'll talk about it at length. But I want to get to Voldy here first, but. I really don't have anything to add. They got to play better. Yeah. That's really what I bring it down to. They have to play better. I mean, it was unacceptable what happened in that second half. So, Voldy, let's start with you. Your thoughts on the game, and then I want you to get into your the bone to pick with the national media in regards to the J.J. McCarthy scrutiny. So, game and then J.J. McCarthy. Voldy. Go ahead.
Yeah, from the game itself, I thought maybe this was going to be a different go-around for JJ because I felt from the opening drive, they were moving the ball. They were getting 6 yards of carry rushing-wise with Jordan Mason, with Aaron Jones, and they were moving the ball quite well. Sure, they stalled out on a couple of drives. They were getting points. That was the big thing. You got Will the Thrill. We're all Reichard to begin with, and just he's hitting bombs from downtown in Lambeau. That was great, but just the inability to go on from that point and just a steady deterioration of play as the game went along, forcing a couple of balls into double coverage and just errant throws as well. J.J. McCarthy definitely did not have his greatest performance for sure. 12 of 19, 87 yards, and 2 picks to go along with being sacked 5 times. I need to look at the bigger picture in all this. This was his 6th start in the National Football League. There is so many things going on in his world right now. Let's not forget about the fact of coming off injury, the high ankle sprain earlier this season, the uneven play, whether he's going to play or not. Oh yeah, let's throw in the fact that he's a new dad to begin with. That is an even crazier thing beyond going on the football field. I know, I've got 2 kids. My world is turned upside down any given second, let alone I can't even tell you about all the craziness that I've had to deal with this week, let alone my own wife. But getting back to J.J. McCarthy in the game as a whole, there were so many things that went right and so many things that went wrong. They were moving the ball in the first couple of drives. They were getting points. Defense made a couple of plays when they needed to. They were just on the field too much. Special teams, what the hell do we need to do to Miles Price for him to not be such a factor in the game negatively? Fumbling last week, couple weeks ago before that. Now he's getting in the way of punts that basically teed up a touchdown and basically the game from that point in the game against Green Bay. It just all went downhill from there. Defense, like I said, made a couple of plays when they needed to. Van Ginkel was a factor. Josh Metellus, thank God he wasn't too badly hurt when he got crossed up with one of his teammates there. Still made plays when they needed to. They just couldn't come through. The offense just could not come through at that point, and it just all continued to get worse. And just the protection of J.J. McCarthy, which led to those 5 sacks. Then you also throw in by, early mid fourth quarter, you pull your left tackle, your starting left tackle, and then your starting right guard. And then you're basically saying, we give up. There's no hope here for coming back at any point. And you're basically saying, Micah Parsons, Rashawn Gary, have at it. Just rip up our quarterback and have a good old time and just rub it in our face. There is nothing more than I hate in this universe than smug Packer fans just just them in general. I don't know what it is, especially when they beat the Vikings and just all their smugness. And then we throw on the interception and them doing the skull chant. I literally wanted to punch a hole in every single TV, throw myself through all the walls, and then run into traffic in the opposite direction of the right way.
Yeah,
That just took me to a whole another level. And I really want to save the rant on the national media and coverage as well. Matt, I want to get your thoughts on the game. I mean, I don't know anything else you wanted to add on top of it, but please, just I need a moment to collect my thoughts here.
Yeah, you
just
collect
everything that's happened this last couple weeks.
Let's first start with Alex. I first want to bring up too that Alex is a Denver Broncos fan, obviously, and he is putting this out there as just as an observer and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Hot take: Vikings fans need to be patient with 9 and give him a chance. He's pretty much a rookie and needs an opportunity to develop. KOC will work wonders if given time. I think there's a lot to be said with that, and I want to save that because I want to throw my opinion out there, and I want Voldy to as well. But let's start with the game in general. Let's just go from there, and that as Voldy is collecting his thoughts here with this whole thing. Let's talk about the first half. Voldy hit the nail right on the head. They ran the ball very effectively in that game. I thought at times, and again, I don't ever really want to question KOC because I am a KOC guy. I like KOC. I think he's a great coach. But I also feel like the bashing is unwarranted. And don't compare him to Mike Zimmer, because Mike Zimmer and Kevin O'Connell are two different people, and this is two different regimes. So that's a whole nother conversation. Let's take a look here. So the Vikings, they got down to the Green Bay red zone. They had a 3rd and 1. They do that weird TJ Hawkinson, push or push thing.
God.
It sucked. It was bad.
Why?
I know. And I agree. And the thing is that I disagreed with that type of call, but teams have done it, and they've done it effectively, I might add, too, hoping that the Vikings would do the same. It wasn't working. But the 4th and 1, and then you're like, oh, let's just give it to Mason and see how it goes. But the thing is like, in that situation, everyone's been on KOC's ass about, oh, you gotta stop throwing the ball on the short yardages and everything like that. Right. If you can't run the ball and get it on 4th and 1, that's a problem. The Green Bay knew what they were going to do. I mean, you have to go at least a little play action thing and get McCarthy to just dump it to somebody, So I didn't agree with that, and I just think that costed them points. And who knows what happens with that momentum. The Green Bay Packers, and this isn't necessarily a knock per se on the Green Bay Packers because defensively they took care of business. Darrisaw did not play well against Micah Parsons. When Justin School got in there and absolutely got destroyed by Rashawn Gary, that was awful. And I don't even put that on McCarthy. I put that on School, and you can take that for what you will. But the Green Bay Packers offensively didn't do that well. Outside of Emmanuel Wilson going for over 100 yards and maybe a couple catches, they didn't do anything. And people want to sit back and be like, oh, they dominated us, No, the Green Bay Packers defense dominated the Minnesota Vikings offense. That's what happened. The Vikings defense made the stops. They made that nice stop to begin the second half. And what happens? Miles Price muffed punt. I thought he got pushed into it, too, and I thought that was a rule. So I didn't know if
that was a thing, too, that you can't push a guy into it, but apparently not. When it's the Vikings.
I'm curious to know, and I'm not saying, and again, he was way too close to it. I mean, it's his fault, generally. But I think Matt Daniels is going to be, I mean, he's on the hot seat right now because this is the second week in a row that we've had issues with fumbling and or, getting greedy on the kickoff returns and, leaving a lane wide open for Devin Duvernay. I mean, it's bad. And then, obviously, the muffed punt. Now, I just think that from then on, there was zero fight in that team after that happened. And I'm not even blaming the defense necessarily because they have the ball at the 3-yard line. At the 3-yard line, and of course they're going to put it in. I mean, Green Bay's not the New York Jets, They're not going to not get in to the end zone. I mean, the defense just got off the field, and then we do something as stupid as that. Now, I think Miles Price is a good returner. I just think he made a stupid play. And that's pretty much what happened with this whole situation was that he made a mistake. It happens, but the thing is there's too many mistakes with him right now. He needs to be aware of where the ball is when you're a returner, and it cost us. It really did. But the fight that the team didn't have after that was concerning to me because after that whole thing, when I think there were like 2 3 and outs right after that whole sequence. I mean, where is the fight with this team? There was no like we're gonna get them back, get a turnover and things like that. And the only thing that's been hurting this defense, Voldy, has been they haven't been getting turnovers. Unfortunately, and it's just like zero. And that's the sad part about this whole thing. And Flores, said that it's like feast or famine because last year it was feast, right?
It is. This
year it's famine. Yeah. And that's just kind of how it goes. But I think that the defense shouldn't be fully at blame for this. I'm gonna preview this by saying from this perspective because I am sick and tired of people on social media, the national media as well, and I'm talking about one person only. And that is Diana Rossini. The whole time, this whole thing has been happening. She has been negative on the McCarthy thing. She's been putting stuff out there about the Vikings were super interested in Aaron Rodgers. They're trying to get it done and everything like that. She pushed that narrative. But that narrative that she has been pushing, and now people are like, oh, we owe her an apology. We owe her an apology about that whole thing. People are going to be disappointed at how he works and whatnot. Listen to me. Listen to me here, Diana Rossini. I am sick and tired of this BS, this bias that you have, or something against J.J. McCarthy. You clearly do. You have something against J.J. McCarthy because this whole season, you have been nothing but going at saying like the Vikings should have kept Darnold, the Vikings should have kept Jones, the Vikings should have gotten Rodgers. You kept pushing that narrative when it's not even that true. Yes, did Rodgers call the Vikings and say, hey, you guys interested? Did they talk about it? Sure. I'm not saying that you lacked credibility on that. But the fact that you kept pushing that narrative and saying that he was going to be a Viking and everything like that, that's the issue I have. You don't like J.J. McCarthy. You need to admit that. And the fact that you want to sit back and say, well, the Vikings should have done this, this, and this. First of all, shut the hell up. And second of all, do your freaking job. And don't be so biased on, with Rodgers. We know that you're in contact with his agent. And that agent probably said, you got to push him because he wants to go to Minnesota. You got to push it that way.
No.
There's something brewing. Anyway, I didn't mean to go that far into it because I want to get to you on that. But that are my thoughts on the game. They got to play better. I don't have any rhyme or reason about this whole thing. They have to play better. And that's the sad part about this is because there's flashes I've seen with J.J. McCarthy, but we'll talk about that after you get with yours and whatnot. But there's just something missing. And the thing is once they find it, this team's going to be really good. So, Voldy, Go ahead.
So just have a few things that I really want to touch on when it comes to obviously the national media, even some of the local media that just continues to harp harshly on JJ McCarthy since he came back. Let's start off with some of the facts. The last 3 games that he has played are quite possibly some of the hottest teams in the NFL. The Ravens, the Bears, and the Packers. All 3 of those teams are in definite contention, especially with the Bears now leading the division, the Packers that are vying for the division lead, and of course the Ravens that, after numerous injuries early on, are looking to run the table here in the AFC North as we come down the stretch. Now, with everything being put on to JJ McCarthy since coming back from the injury early on, from missing last season and basically saying, why aren't we getting the results that we should right off the bat? This is his true rookie season. I don't care what people say. You had lightning in a bottle with the Bears game in week 1. That you had lightning in a bottle as well against the Lions a few weeks ago. Of course, you take some lumps as well with, of course, the Falcons game, which ultimately he hurt himself and had to sit out. You lose a few heartbreakers as well, with and without, of course, Carson Wentz in the lineup. Hopefully his recovery is going much better than originally faced as well. But now in this recent stretch, just the constant negativity that we have seen from the national level saying, what, we need to give up on JJ McCarthy. Do we need to jump ship? Do we need to look somewhere else? Do we need to draft a quarterback in the first round? Should Kwesi get fired? Should Kevin O'Connell get fired? It all needs to stop. This is exactly why, and the narrative has always been with these young starting quarterbacks thrown right into the fire, of why they burn out so quickly with their first franchise. And we've seen the reclamation projects elsewhere. They go from their original team, somewhere else, and they just flourish at multiple levels. I do not want to see JJ McCarthy go somewhere else and light the world on fire when he could do it right here in Minnesota. This is what you expect from a rookie quarterback. You expect perfection day in and day out? Absolutely not. You need to knock yourself off the pedestal of Jaden Daniels and, CJ Stroud, their rookie seasons. I said it last week. That is the 1% of the 1% of the 1% of those seasons. We're looking at rookie seasons that we've seen with, like Peyton Manning in his first year. He still holds the rookie record for most interceptions in a season. If Peyton Manning had 30 interceptions his rookie season this year, he would have been benched after like week 3 or 4 and probably would have never seen the field, as opposed to being a Super Bowl champion, Hall of Famer, yada, 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 and the beloved figure and commercial spokesman that we see nowadays. Peyton Manning on that pedestal for sure. Excuse me. But now getting back to JJ McCarthy. Sorry. There's a lot of feelings with this, and just the overall negativity of how we've seen, even with Bo Nix thrown in there. Yes, he had a great rookie season for sure. Almost got it done against the Bills in the playoffs as well last season. But now we see that, of course, sitting at 4-7, we had the high expectations of him having a winning record, winning the division. But ultimately, that is all fool's gold when it comes to it. This is about him being accustomed to the NFL lifestyle and being a starting quarterback at the national level, when it, last season was just him about learning. And just even more conversation, I continue to hate how everyone brings up, we had Sam Darnold, we had Daniel Jones last season. That was last season. Those were 14-win teams and a 14-win team roster that was ready to go. And the fact that we couldn't get it done when it mattered most, that's all in the past. I'm looking right now 2-3 years down the road here, and we're going to run JJ McCarthy out of town the same way these people, that being the local media and the national media, the same way they ran Teddy Bridgewater out of town. Yes, he had that devastating knee injury on top of it, and we never gave him the chance to come back from it. I do not want to see this happen the second time around. JJ McCarthy is the future of this franchise. He needs the time. He's got the right coach. He's got the right quarterback coach as well in Josh McCown. He's done and seen it all. And of course, with these matchups that have happened and coming up, we're at Seattle. We take on the Commanders. We're at the Cowboys, at the Giants. Then we take on the Lions on Christmas Day. And then we finish off the regular season against the Packers. I just want the benefit of the doubt for this to be a development season. Yes, I want to win. Yes, I want to go to the playoffs. Yes, I want to see the Vikings in the Super Bowl. But guess what? Beggars can't be choosers. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. I'll get my 4-year-old to come in here and say that right here, right now. He's got that instilled in his brain. J.J. McCarthy is a developing quarterback in the absolutely perfect system for him. And you look at these last 3 games, minus the game against Green Bay, of course, each of those 1-score losses. Of course, you throw in, the Chargers game was 37-10. You lose by a score against the Eagles as well. You lose it at the end there, or towards the end with the Ravens. You lose it at the buzzer as well with the Bears. But with the Packers game especially, you turn over the football. You can't do much with that. And it was even noted in the broadcast. He's got to be able to work the check down instead of trying to push the ball down the field, where usually it's the other way around. J.J. McCarthy needs as much time as he can. Give him the offensive line. He's got the weapons, and just let him do what he can do best, and that is play the quarterback position. Stop trying to beat him down when he is already down, because we already know he is his own worst critic. The rest of the season here, it's about development, getting better, and learning what we have going into the offseason at 4-7. Who knows? Weirder things have happened. The Vikings could win out and sneak into the wild card, or they could lose out. I would not be surprised in that either, but I just want it to be stated. J.J. McCarthy is the starting quarterback for the Vikings. I don't care what happens the rest of the season here. We just need him to develop with a full season, a full regular season, give him a full off season as well. Hopefully he will be fully healthy, and we look towards 2026 here with a great opportunity to build off of what we've seen this year and hopefully go even further to greatness as well.
Couple things, and I'll try to keep it short here too, since we we got stuff going. I agree with pretty much everything. The one thing that I want to get this narrative across too, he had a concussion. It's that simple. Voldy and I saw the play. We even talked about it briefly. If people keep saying that it was a soft benching, it's soft benching, it's soft benching, go do your freaking research and look at what happened. Because when he got hit, and he should have slid, but at the same time, trying to get the first down, I get it. But at the same time, you don't want, have your quarterback hurt. He had concussion symptoms. Stop bringing up that whole thing about, he was playing bad because he took himself out. That is not what happened. Look at the facts before you make those assumptions. And all these national media on Twitter, Voldy, I have started muting accounts because it has gotten to the point of you can't reason with these people. They're just going to be there for clicks. For instance, you look at First Take. It's a scripted show. I'm sorry, it is. Because all they say, Stephen A., you take this side, the others, you take the other side of it. That's how that works. You can't sit back and say, well, it's on the Vikings and everything. Guess what? I think that what happened was the Vikings made the assumption that, okay, I think he's ready. I think he's ready to go. But, a couple things get thrown in, the injuries and whatnot. But I think they just miscalculated a little bit that he needed more time. Now, I'm not saying they should have got Darnold. They should have got Jones. Here's the funny thing about that, because people keep bringing that up. You could have had Darnold. You could have had Sam Darnold, who the Vikings do play this week, by the way. Sam Darnold wanted more money. because he said, look at what I did and everything like that. The Vikings weren't going to pay him what Seattle is paying him now. And has it worked out so far? I say that so far because when the lights get bright, Sam Darnold has folded. He took the Seahawks took on the Rams, was it 2 weeks ago or a week ago or whatever it was. They laid an egg against them. He did not show up in that game. He threw 4 interceptions. Four. So, but no one's he'll bounce back. Did he bounce back? Yeah, he bounced back against the Titans. The Titans are probably the worst team in football right now. Just saying.
Congrats, you did your job.
He did his job. I love Sam Darnold. I like Sam Darnold. Okay? I'm not trying to, but stop saying that. That whole thing of, well, they could have had Darnold. No, they didn't. They knew they were going to lose him because he's demanding this amount of money, and that's what he did. Daniel Jones, same deal. He thought he could win the job. He won the job. What happened to Daniel Jones this weekend? They had a lead, and he was bad, to say the least. When the lights get bright, that's what happens with those two. They're only going to take you so far, and that's what's going to happen. The Vikings are thinking ahead. Now, let's get to the game at hand here real quick, because I'm done with trying to explain myself. And yes, I needed to get that off my chest about Diana Rossini. I am so sick and tired of this hate against J.J. McCarthy from her. And she was quoted saying not too long ago, too, before we get into that, she was quoted saying, this is going to get a headline. Well, no shit it's going to get a headline when you say something along the lines of, is J.J. McCarthy going to be a Minnesota Viking next year? Who the hell do you think you are?
Jesus.
Who the hell do you think you are? If you say, oh, this is going to get a headline, then don't say it. And then she goes and says something like that. That is absurd. Absurd. You're just going to give up on the kid like that? Really? Really? I doubt that. So let's take, Alex has got something here real quick. Now it reminds me of a young Money Munson. People didn't believe in him right away, but he was given time to develop. He became legendary. We need a little bit of laughs with this, and this is good. I mean, thank you, Alex, for putting that out there. The thing is, he had to get over the hump of being the Ricky Rubio apologist, and I think he finally understood. I really like what Mike Conley's done with. I don't want to speak for the guy, but anyway, you look at this game against Seattle. It sounds like Brosmer. Now, here's the next thing. Max Brosmer, people have been trying to say, oh, he's the answer. He can get it done based off one preseason game. I want Brosmer to do well. I really do. And if he lights it up, hell yeah, let's keep it going. But, Voldy, what are your thoughts on Bros Daddy coming up and playing against Seattle?
I just want everyone to be held accountable when they say that when things don't go well, if Brosmer does start and it all goes to hell, said, I guess that's what we get. No, I want you all to understand one thing. You cannot go back and say, especially when Carson Wentz got hurt or Carson Wentz wasn't playing well, and they're like, why isn't JJ starting? Why can't we get him out there? And now we're at the situation we're at with JJ, him being hurt, and now we get to possibly Max Brosmer and say, why isn't Max Brosmer starting? Yada, yada, yada. You can't always get what you want, and you need to stop doing it. I want Brosmer to do well, absolutely. But given the fact that Seattle's defense has been otherworldly these last few weeks and been scoring like crazy too, it's going to be a tough test. And of course, it's at Seattle as well. We're in the late window of contests on Sunday, and then we also face our former quarterback that has been taking a few bumps along the way. And of course, we face up against the best receiver in football in Jackson Smith and Jigba. It's going to be defense versus defense. If Vikings defense can stop the Seattle offense, and if the Seattle defense can allow either Brosmore or McCarthy, it's looking more and more like Brosmore at this point, to at least get the ball down the field a little bit one way or another, how that's going to match up overall. If Brosmer does get the start, which is what it's looking like, I wish him all the best of luck. Absolutely. I loved him. I loved watching him last year with the Gophers, and the fact that he could be the first, Gopher quarterback to start for the Vikings in a regular season game. That's great. That's what we all want to see on top of it. And I hope he does well. And I hope the offensive line can block for him, whether they're fully healthy or not. And we just make it through this game unscathed one way or another with a win or loss. I don't know. I'm leaning towards loss, unfortunately, but weirder things have happened.
Certainly. And I'm glad you brought that up about because people are like, Brosmer's going to solve all of our problems and this and that. It's
no.
I hope that's the case. But look, this is a undrafted rookie quarterback. It's going to take time. It's not like he's been twiddling his thumbs and not doing anything. I'm just saying the speed of the game is a lot different in the regular season than the preseason. And granted, yeah, people said, well, he won against the Titans starters. Let's repeat that for a second.
Yeah.
He won against the Titans starters. The Titans are 1-9, by the way, just saying. But I'm not trying. And again, he played well, and he was very good. You're going to go against Seattle, at Seattle. Oh, by the way, Voldy, did you know the Vikings are at Seattle again? They were at Seattle last year. Now they're in Seattle again this year. Who would have thunk?
Wow.
Every single, since the show has come into its inception, it has always been, besides that one season when they played Seattle at home, finally, I was at that game, and Kirko went off, and they finally beat the Seattle Seahawks. But no, after that, NFL had to be like, no, you got to go to Seattle again. You got to go to Seattle again. You got to go to Seattle again. We go to Seattle and finally get a win last year, thank God. And now, nope, you got to go there again. I hate this. It's just like, why do you do this to us? But I don't. Seattle is just, I hate having to go there all the freaking time. So it's going to be, I want Brosmer to do well. I really, really do.
Me too.
Get the ball to Justin Jefferson, Addison, run the ball. Make it easy as possible. KOC, I think, will make it easy for Brosmer, hopefully. Defense, get some sacks, turnovers. If we can get some turnovers, that'd be so nice. We need it bad, really bad. So that was a lot to talk about tonight with the Vikings. We got it all off our chest. We are moving on.
We did.
Skull Vikes till Seattle.
We're on to Seattle.
You're on to Seattle. Not Cincinnati, but Seattle. So, but another team that didn't have a great weekend as well, and that being the Golden Gophers. They fall to those Northwestern Wildcats. 38-35, lose on a last second field goal. Or no, not last second. I should say it was a couple. There was time in between. Apologies.
Gophers had a chance to tie it.
They had a chance. They had a 28-13 lead too, and that went squandered by a chance. So I didn't get the luxury of watching the game per se, but from what I've gathered, Drake Lindsay played a hell of a game. From what I've gathered, and he had was he 3 touchdowns or something like that?
4.
I mean, even better. I mean, that's great. And the thing is unfortunately it had to end up as a loss, but defensively things didn't go well, and it hurt the Gophs. They gave up some big plays and whatnot. But Voldy, what are your thoughts here on the Gophers losing to Northwestern?
It's absolutely comical because I had to work on Saturday, so unfortunately I didn't get a chance to watch the game either. But the fact that I saw at one point they're up 28 to 13 at one point, it's like, oh yeah, it's Northwestern. They're gonna, take it in the second half here and just walk away at Wrigley Field too, believe it or not. Yeah, that's funny because their stadium's getting renovated. They spent the first half of the season at like their soccer lacrosse field or something like that, just off Lake Michigan there. And of course, now with the weather changing, they shifted more downtown as well, playing at Wrigley Field for the last couple of games too. But yeah, 4 touchdowns, 260 yards for Drake Lindsay. You'd think that'd be enough, but missed opportunities, especially in the second half, getting outscored 25-14 in the second half. And then you have a chance at the end to tie the game. I literally turned on the game from leaving work. I literally turned on the game as the game tying kick was about to go up, and they missed it. And that was the end of the game. I'm like, seriously? We can't even tie to go to overtime against Northwestern?
Son of a mother duck!
I mean, you also have Coy Parrish, 10 total tackles. He had a really nice 93-yard return as well in special teams. I mean, he had 6 returns, 230 yards, a 93-yard touchdown, 93-yard return, I should say. No touchdown, but still not can capitalize over that too. I mean, the run game was pretty much non-existent as well, and that's something that has been a constant factor for the Gophers over the years, not just off the passing attack, but rushing as well. Only 58 yards total rushing-wise. Way too many missed opportunities here, and it's not going to bode well here, especially coming up against the Badgers this week.
So, the Badgers, speaking of the game, it just seems like, and here come the Fleck haters again about him being a snake oil salesman and this and that. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, they lost their composure after that
trap game.
The game. Trap game. So
Trap game.
525 total yards for Northwestern. That won't get it done at all. 25 first downs. They even had 10 penalties. They committed 10 penalties, and they were 2 for 2 on third down. Voldy, the time of possession, 40 minutes to 19. They had 40 minutes with the possession of the football. That's not going to get it done at all either. What the hell is going on? No. So defensively, you know, I think they got worn down. Coy Parrish is, you know, just a stud, by the way. He needs to be a Viking ASAP. But the Gophers, they got 6 wins. I know they should have won some games. I understand from the perspective of, look, you know, Fleck's not doing enough. He's not, you know, these guys aren't invested. It's snake oil salesman deal. But, I mean, the thing is you can't really blame the guy because they gave it up. The kids, I mean, they can set it up, and it went from there. So, if you're going to show, like, hey, you know, let's get this one against Wisconsin. Wisconsin has been just abysmal this season. I think it's going to get louder if they lose to Wisconsin. This game is at home, Voldy, against the Badgers, and you want to win that damn axe as soon as possible. And I think this is the perfect opportunity for them to do that and put a, you know, stamp on the season saying, look, you know, we lost some close ones. We shouldn't have lost to Cal. We, you know, should have given more of an effort against Iowa and even Oregon. I mean, it just wasn't that big of an effort. So my hope is that the Gophers can kind of get this win, go into the bowl game. I think Fleck's undefeated in the bowl games. So just win on Saturday. But if they lose, oh boy, there's going to be hell to pay for sure. The PJ Fleck haters are going to be out.
I would go out on the ledge and say that PJ, if he doesn't get let go, he might be looking somewhere else.
That's right. There's been those rumors.
Might be looking
as well.
at an SEC job. Who knows? I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll keep an eye out and see what happens. Come, was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. The 29th against the Badgers. So, hopefully, one Minnesota team can beat a Wisconsin team here.
God, I hope so. Please. Please.
For the love of God, please. So, I don't know. I beat those Badgers. Get that axe. We want it. That's going to do for Hot Take. A lot of positive stuff to talk about, you know? It's just awesome. Just great, you know? So, anyway, that'll do it for the Hot Take. And now it is time for a little bit of more positivity. The Infinity Rankings. Now, there's been some movement. There's going to be some teams on this list that you're going to look and say, you know, I'd probably put this team over this team. Now's your chance to, you know, say, oh, you should have had this team or that team. Tell me. I mean, honestly, if you think that it's trash, it's trash, whatever. That's just my opinion. Take it for what it is. But Infinity Rankings, Week 13. Hard to believe, by the way. Week 13. There's some teams that have stayed on the list. There's teams that have fallen off the list. And there's new teams. A lot of new teams, I would say, on this list. So I say we put on our gauntlet. Like always, you know the deal. Let's get it going with some Infinity Rankings.
While many have power rankings, none have captured them all. It's time for Matty C's Infinity Rankings.
Like I was telling, hey, yeah, let's go. See, we got the gauntlets here, man. That is pretty sweet.
Find it favorite for like $3.
Yeah, and you know, quite honestly, the more gauntlets, the better. You know, got everything. It's awesome. So, I was gonna do something with this gauntlet, but I was gonna bring up a certain name, but I'm not gonna go that far because we already addressed it. Anyway, the Infinity Rankings this week. There are 6 Infinity Stones here. Why is his small? He goes, well, Alex goes, why is his smaller?
It's not smaller, okay? It's just the right size. Okay? Sorry, mine's not movie quality.
Well, to be honest, I mean, it's actually not. It's very similar. I mean, I think it looks fine. That's just me, but I don't know.
This is a kid's one, too.
It's a kid's one, right? You know, I had to get the real thing.
Lay off, okay?
The unnecessary purchase that I made with this. But you know what? It's for the segment. So anyway, gosh darn it. Here are the 6 Infinity Stones for Week 13. Pa! There we go. Yes, we start at number 6, and we'll bring this down a little bit just so I don't have to keep switching back and forth and all that stuff. So we'll just bring it down a peg here. So right now I do have the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts, for instance, I feel like, you know, they've been playing well. Jonathan Taylor has had a fantastic season, and he's helped my fantasy team in more ways than one, and it has been fantastic having him. But number 6, the Colts, you look at that game against Kansas City, and you wonder, because they didn't look as good as you think they would, right? Daniel Jones missing some throws. Jonathan Taylor didn't really have the best day as well and whatnot. But the Colts, I feel like, are a team that has they have something. But I feel like they need a little bit more from the quarterback, and that's where it gets murky with Daniel Jones, is when the lights get bright. But they're deserving of an Infinity Stone here, to be quite honest, because again, you know, they've been awesome this season, and you know, give credit to the coaching staff in Indianapolis, because Shane Steichen, I mean, if they couldn't figure it out with Anthony Richardson and everything, he'd probably be out of a job. But with Daniel Jones, they're doing a lot of good things. Number 5, the Broncos, and I know Alex is not too thrilled about this placement of the Broncos. Look, it's not because I hate Sir Sean Payton, because I do. I mean, I really loathe the guy, and I wish nothing but, you know, pain and suffering for him for like the rest of his coaching career. But they have a solid defense, man. I'm not going to stray around the fact that this team is very good. They have a good run game offensively. Cortland Sutton's a very good wide receiver. Mims is good. You got Franklin, who's been very good there. Ingram has made some great plays. R.J. Harvey has done a really good job in the backfield after losing J.K. Dobbins earlier. But Bo Nix, Alex has been saying it. He has he has been very good. And and guess what? He needed a year to develop. That's weird, Voldy. I wonder what it's like to not have people on everyone's case about a quarterback. Bo Nix is doing just fine right now.
Apparently.
The only thing, and I'm saying credit to the head coach. No. I'll just say, all credit to the assistant coaches. How about that? Let's go with that. All the assistant coaches. But the only thing I'm concerned about is that they've had some duds, and I think that London game they didn't play very well. They've had close calls against some teams. I don't know if I'm fully sold on them. Hence the 5. But the defense, Bonito is a monster off the edge. I really like their defense and how they're stacked up. And Surtain, I think he's slated to come back soon. But I think that the defense is legit, man. And that's kept them in games. They get to the quarterback as well. And they might inch up. Who knows? Jeremy Crenshaw, most punts, and we still win. That's true. I mean, hey, if you're getting the win, that you're doing something right? Let's move to 4. The Detroit Lions. Yes. They probably wouldn't be on this list if they lost on Sunday. They almost lost to Infamous Jameis and the Giants. I love Infamous Jameis, by the way. I just, I was hoping they would win just because it would be amazing. See Infamous Jameis go in and beat the Lions. But, again, they just find ways to win. They're finding ways to win. They're not always relying on, Amon-Ra and, they're relying on the run game, and Gibbs has just been fantastic these past few weeks. I mean, he is unbelievably fast, and he's just so good. I mean, on one of his touchdown runs, when he went past the lineman, they're already celebrating because they knew he's going to beat those guys. I mean, it's impressive. But again, it is the Giants. I think Detroit is going to be in this mix, hence why I have them at number 4. The only thing that I think is their weakness is if you get pressure on Jared Goff, he folds. I mean, Jason has put it quite plainly, because being a Rams fan, knowing his tendencies and everything like that, is Jared Goff accurate? Absolutely. Is Jared Goff accurate when he's under pressure? Not really. So... And the defense, I'm not fully sold on them either. I'm sorry. I don't look at their defense and think, that, they're world beaters. I think their secondary's not that good. Aiden Hutchinson obviously is a monster. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He pretty much won them the game on the sack to end the game. But the secondary's a concern. Number 3, Voldy, I think you'll like this one. It is the New England Patriots. Now... the one thing about the Patriots, Voldy, I think, let's start off with the Patriots haters. Oh, they haven't played anybody good. They haven't been doing certain things and what. Dude, they beat the Bills. Like, they were able to. 9
straight wins.
9.
That's
right.
Popular number tonight.
That's very true. And the Patriots defensively, I mean, of course, Vrabel's going to fix the defense. It's that simple. But offensively, Drake May has been on par. Again, not a great rookie season. He goes into this season, he's balling out. So, another example of that. But Stephon Diggs has kind of been their primary receiver. Kayshon Boutte has been very good for them as well. Booty, rocking everywhere. And they got Hunter Henry, who's been very good in the tight end spot. I mean, Drake May has made some awesome throws, hence why, and this is this is going to get a headline, the Vikings, did want to trade up for him. The Patriots were like, no, this is our guy. So, I mean, they had full belief, and that's just how it goes. But the Patriots are up on this list is because Vrabel has already changed the culture. They have won 9 straight. They are a tough team to beat. They are a tough defense to beat as well. Christian Gonzalez is a stud corner. Who's the is it? I keep thinking Mac Jones. Marcus Jones, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Jones,
Well,
yep,
he's been balling out too. So
not even on just defense too, special teams. He's a weapon on the kick returns and the punt returns too.
Pick 6 against the Bengals, if I'm not mistaken. He has been awesome. So I think you got to look at these Patriots right now. They're damn good. Number 2, Voldy, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I know that they had the lead against the Cowboys and they lost it and whatnot, fumbles and uncharacteristic things with this team. But I just feel like this team always just finds a way. You know what I mean? Like, it's just somehow, some way these past few years, they've just found a way to overcome things. And A.J. Brown finally, getting the ball, even though he definitely wants out for sure. And then not only that, but Devontae Smith. Saquon hasn't had the best year so far, but I think teams are keying in on him, and the Cowboys actually played good defense for once. That's weird to say, especially when the Flus is the D coordinator there. But the thing is that they just, their line's good. The defense can get to you in multiple different ways, especially off the edge, in the interior. It's just they're a tough team, and I obviously am not going to put them at 1 because the number 1 team, and my cousin is going to like this a lot, is the L.A. Rams. I hate to do this because I've been hearing nothing from him about how well they've been playing and how good they've been. But the thing is they are that damn good. That defense is super young, and they're super good. Verse is a monster, and he likes to say, he owns the Vikings. He owns the... No, he doesn't. He doesn't own the Vikings. The Wolves own the Vikings. Come on. But their secondary's young. The Fisk in the middle is a monster as well. This defense is going to cause a lot of trouble for teams. And the offense, Stafford's playing at an MVP level. I mean, Puka Nacua is making plays. Devontae Adams off the side, too. Kyron Williams are running the ball. I mean, it's a well-oiled machine with Sean McVay and that team. And they have been amazing. And they are the best team in football right now, in my opinion. And I'm not even, it's not even that it's just, they're going to fall off. No, they're not. They're that damn good. And they've built this roster and have hit on their draft picks. I wish the same could be said about the Vikings, but we can't. But right now, the Los Angeles Rams are the best team in football. Defensively, offensively, special teams have been an issue for this team. They have missed extra points. They had extra point block. They lost to the Eagles. And I believe they lost to the Niners at home, but there was some deal with that. I can't remember what it was. But, right now they are playing like a well-oiled machine. That is why they're at number 1. So, as you can see, Colts, Broncos, Lions, Patriots, Eagles, Rams. So this is where I pass it to the zoners. And we'll go with Voldy here. Voldy, what are your thoughts on the rankings this time around?
I mean, you look at what we're sitting at here with these 6. I mean, there's even other teams you could throw in there. I mean, like I talked about when we're talking about the Vikings. Very sneakily, you could take the Colts off this list and you could throw in the Bears. You could throw in the Ravens as well. As much as it pains me to say that, even the Packers are starting to sneak their way back up. But the fact that the Lions are been the ones that have been kind of America's sweethearts as of late really shows that, they're at that number 4 spot. So be very interesting to see the matchup here coming up on Sunday, or I should say on Thursday here with the Thanksgiving Day game with the Lions and the Packers for sure. And then you've got the Black Friday game with the Bears and the Eagles. So very interesting contest there. The Colts, very sneakily, last couple weeks, they could very well be off this list for sure. Patriots, I feel in my mind, and you talked about a few guys for sure. Talked about Kayshon Boutte, even though he's been out the last couple of weeks injury-wise. He's been he's been kind of a blooming star for them. Pop Douglas is a very underrated player in the receiving core, very possessional receiver too. The run game especially has come alive, even without the presence of Ramondre Stevenson. Travion Henderson the last 3-4 weeks has just sprouted up out of nowhere and has contributed heavily to the game. Just the decisiveness and the overall playmaking from Drake May the first few weeks where he was turning over the ball left, right, and center, where they got off to 1-2 and now have won 9 straight. 2 completely different quarterbacks from the start of the season till now with Drake May. The Rams are quite possibly the scariest team in the NFL right now. You've got a 40-some-year-old quarterback that somehow has found the fountain of youth again in Los Angeles. You've got a defense that 4 years ago was scraping by just to get into any sort of competitiveness when the GM said, you know what, F them picks, we want to win right now. Now we're starting to see the youth come through in the most recent couple of years draft-wise, coming through in a big way, and now it's starting to pay off. They've got dynamic receivers. They've got a fairly decent run game as well with Kyron Williams. Devontae Adams has got 12 touchdowns. Puka still continues to light the world on fire. Their receiving core, at least at the tight end spot, has been fairly decent, a little bit on the downside of things without, a couple of guys that have been hampered by injury and just kind of piece things together. But Matthew Stafford has certainly picked things up as of late. The Eagles, I feel like this game on Friday against the Bears is as much of a trap game for them based off of what we saw on Sunday, spotting the 21 points to the Dallas Cowboys, ultimately losing that game. If they lose that game against the Bears coming up on Friday, I would not be surprised to see if the Eagles start to make their way down the ladder a little bit more, and maybe not so much as being a divisional winner, if they'll be lucky enough to get into the wild card for sure. Just based off of the last couple of weeks that we've seen. Sure, they still have a dynamic offense. Sure, the tush push is always going to be able to win, but there's been a few too many problems as of late in that locker room, and it's starting to make its way onto the field.
I agree. I mean, I think this could be a problem, come. There you go. It could be a problem come. Yeah, let's just bring it down here. There we go. But I think eventually something's going to catch up to him and whatnot. But let's get to Alex. Let's get to Alex's comment here. He thinks the Broncos should be ahead of the Eagles. We beat them and should have beat the Colts. But, leverage. Yeah, I know. I do. I watched that game, by the way. It was a fun game to watch, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But I get that they beat the Eagles at home, by the way. They beat the Eagles at
that was awesome.
At Lincoln Financial.
That's great.
They came back. And, I think you can make that argument. I just think only time will tell with this team, because I think they can compete with any of the teams in the AFC. They beat the Chiefs, which is a very big thing. You got to get over that hump if, you want to win the division, and they very well could. The reason why I have the Bears off this list is, for one, yes, they're on the streak. Yes, they've beaten teams that, unfortunately with the Vikings, they should have lost that game, by the way. And they should have lost that game against the Steelers, the Bengals, and everything like that. But the interesting part about this whole thing, someone mentioned it to, I think it was Ben Gessling or someone else, or Kevin Seifert, one of the Vikings guys. They said, and I quote, "This feels like the 2022 Vikings." Where I'm just putting that out there. I think Ben Johnson's done a good job. I think Caleb hasn't been as bad. He played well against the Steelers. I'll give him that. But they haven't played any teams that you're like, oh, wow, that's a big win. They played against Mason Rudolph last week. They almost lost. And I think you have to factor in that if they go in and beat the Eagles, then I'll sit back and say, okay, they've got a chance here. And for the sake of Voldy, because we don't want to have what Voldy said to Mitch during that whole NFC North roundtable thing come into fruition.
Dude, it is spreading into the Lumberjacks coaching offices right now.
Oh,
and it is
no.
not looking good right now.
No! Well, just
I am going to be held to the highest level of accountability. And it's not going to be pretty.
Voldy, I have faith that it's going to be somebody other than the Bears.
Please, for the love of God, Packers, just win the division.
Or Lions. Maybe?
Or Lions. Anybody.
Except
for the Bears.
Yeah. So those are the Infinity rankings. We had a lot of fun with it. Let us know what you thought. Obviously, Alex has put forth his thoughts, but let's take a look at what we got for ARA. The Lynx have the number 2 pick. Who are they taking? We'll talk about that. And then the Rangers make a big deal with the Mets. More on that with those two guys. And then Aaronrodgers, is he going to be back in time for the Bills game? It's looking like it probably will, unfortunately, but that's how it goes. Sheduersanders had a good game against the Raiders. He is QB1. It has been officially talked about. Voldy has that update as well. And Coach Norvell to remain with Florida State for 2026. He gets another shot. We'll see how it goes from there. So let's get it going. Let's approved.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Absurd or Approved.
All right, it is time for Absurd or Approved. So, Voldy, why don't you rattle them out for us, please?
Well, the WNBA draft lottery took place here earlier this week with the Dallas Wings going back-to-back years of having the number 1 overall pick. Of course, last season, Minnesota's own Paige Bueckers out of UConn went as the number 1 overall pick to the Dallas Wings after her season, of which she went as the WNBA Rookie of the Year. Now, of course, that also helped out in a couple of different ways because our Minnesota Lynx took the number 2 pick with the, of course, the odds going towards their favor even after a successful season that they did have. Of course, now with that also being said to take place, the WNBA draft will be coming up here later this next coming season, I believe, as well. Of course, the order of the WNBA draft here, I just had it right in front of me. The Seattle Storm took the number 3 spot, followed by the Washington Mystics, and then the Chicago Sky at number 5. Now, with that also being slated out, with another season of basketball still to come our way, of course, the big number 1, the latest mock draft putting as UConn's Ozzie Fudd as the potential number 1 overall draft pick, which also so happens to be Paige Bueckers' girlfriend, not putting that out there into the universe for any sort of reason, Illuminati whatsoever. But with the Lynx at the number 2 spot, who should they pick with that number 2 selection in the WNBA draft coming up here next year?
Well, I'm just surprised they got the second pick. That's quick.
Right?
I mean, good Lord, how did that happen? I wish it was from last year, because then they maybe could have taken Paige Buckets. But she was going to the Wings no matter what. But anyway, I took some time to take a look at it, and there is and it's not Paige Becker's girlfriend here. But it's someone that's coming from Spain. Spain. Our fam. And I don't know if I said that right, but we're going to go with that. Only 19 years old, by the way. And she is, she's got the speed, physicality, and skill in the WNBA. She has worked with Nika Agumake. Is it Agumake or Agumake? I've heard
Agumbawale?
Agumake. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to go with that. And then Ezi Bagor as well. I mean, she's working with WNBA talent. But just think of adding a young person down low that you can rely on. And, Alana Smith has done a fantastic job. But, developing another young forward for this team, I think, is very imperative. And I think it's perfect match with Coach Reeve. And I think when you add not only her to the mix and being able to dominate down low, and obviously playing with MVP as well, you're not going to stop this team eventually. And I think with having her down low, she's going to do a lot of damage down low. And I think it's going to, again, here's something, Voldy. Development. It's still a thing. You got to develop people because apparently you can't have results right away. And it's going to take, some time for her to get used to the game and everything like that. I mean, she kind of reminds me of who the Wolves drafted, Behringer. And I think if you're able to develop that type of presence down low, I'm telling you, she's going to be a force down there. So I'm going to go with Awa Fam from Spain. As the Lynx pick at number 2. But there has been some talk that she might even go 1. But, I mean, whoever falls down, I think whoever's going to be picked, Cheryl Reeve's going to make it happen. So that's
I'd take Ozzy Fudd in a hurry. That's for darn sure as well. If she drops to number 2. Don't even think about it. Just send the pick before it's even official as well. Well, with our fam, are we going to go through the same hurdles that we did with Ricky Rubio, him being drafted as a child and waiting about 3 or 4 years before they come here to play in the WNBA?
Yeah, that's a good
Hopefully,
point.
that is not the case here. I know that the Lynx for sure are definitely a win now sort of team, but of course you do have to have the development. 2-3 years ago, we were looking at this team and it's like, hey, we just want to be competitive. And lo and behold, we were in the mix for the WNBA finals. That's right. We win the Commissioner's Cup 2 years ago. We get screwed out of a WNBA title last season. I don't want to go into that much further, but I see an opportunity here, especially with Cheryl Reeve, of course, who has done nothing but keep this team as relevant as possible with the players that they do draft, with the free agents that they also sign, the trades that they make as well. Now it's always been about and should be about development of young players. Of course, a little bit different when it comes to the basketball side of things, not as deep of a roster said compared to some other teams and other professional sports. So it's definitely, you got to have a development on the fly or at least have a good enough product to be a key member on the team without holding up a spot for somebody that can be a vital part right away for the squad. But definitely going after someone like an Awa Fam, we're going to go with that unless we're completely wrong. If for any of those that know how to say the correct pronunciation for her, that would be greatly appreciated. But I definitely see at least garnering a little bit of that development side could be great for the Timberwolves, for the Lynx, with them going after the international pick from them.
Keyword, development. That's our word of the day and probably for the rest of the football year as well. Sports year. Let's go with that. All right, next one, Voldy.
Well, one of the bigger moves to open up things in the world of baseball ahead of the winter meetings for Major League Baseball. The New York Mets and the Texas Rangers swapped high-priced stars in a trade that sent second baseman Marcus Semien to the Mets and outfielder Brandon Nimmo to Texas. Now, Nimmo, who is 32, waived his no-trade clause to make the deal consummated after being, of course, a 13th overall draft pick back in 2011. Simeon, a three-time All-Star, joined the Rangers back in 2022 and helped them win a title in 2023. Now, the Rangers are marred by the fact that they have a little bit of some trouble with them, and of course, the high price, low return in their payroll. So they're looking to cut and dump as much as possible. But with cash considerations being part of the deal, it is very interesting to see the swap in trade with now Simeon, a shortstop, going to the Mets, who, have a pretty decent shortstop at their time, with that also being in Francisco Lindor. Now, how's that going to all shape up and well? But with this trade taking place of Simeon to the Mets and then Brandon Nimmo to the Rangers, is it absurd or prove the Mets won this trade over the Texas Rangers?
Well, I think the question we should be asking is, what this person, big Mets fan, Frank the Tank from Barstool, what does he think of this trade? I'm sure he's probably freaking out and whatnot. Who knows? The Mets have they've been in the mix, then they're out of the mix, then they just do something stupid. Apparently there's, the organization is just a mess. That sounds familiar. But again, I think them making this move, they're trying to, keep this team competitive and to compete for a World Series. And making this move, I don't know much the Mets situation per se. I know that Pete Alonso up, or are they looking to trade him, or are they moving on? Are they just holding on?
I believe he's a free agent.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, they're trying to keep this team, competitive and obviously win a World Series. So, I'm going to say yes. And the reason why I give it my stamp of approval is, you gotta make these deals, especially with Marcus Simeon. You can finally get a second baseman you can rely on and be able to use. Especially, he's 32, but adding another bat to their lineup is going to help. And whereas Nimmo, I don't think you were getting that in the outfield, and I think they're probably going to make some more deals in order to keep it going. But I'll give him my stamp of approval. I think you got to take some chances, and I think he had an injury, if I'm not mistaken, off this. Yeah, Simeon missed 5.5 weeks of the season and whatnot, with an injury following a pitch off his foot. Okay, so yeah, I'll say it makes sense. He's got the experience and whatnot. So, yep, stamp of approval. Voldy, what do you got?
Yeah, I think the Mets definitely got a better look at with their trade compared to the Rangers. Like we talked about, the Rangers are in very much a dump as much off the books as they can. Of course, they still have Corey Seager, Jacob deGrom, and Nate Eovaldi, who are set to make in excess of $25 million next season. So trying to cut those guys and get them off the payroll is definitely something that they wanted to go with and get something in return. Maybe for Nimmo, it's more about a fresh start for him in Texas. And things have worked out well in the past for guys that have gone to Texas in the last handful of years. Of course, the year when they won the World Series as well. Marcus Simeon, who's always been a productive player in the lineup. And of course, a little bit more in the last handful of years with his glove for sure, because there was a time when he was quite possibly the worst shortstop in baseball, but has certainly turned things around in that regard. I definitely see it as the Mets winning this trade as of right now compared to the Rangers for sure.
I think it just kind of comes down to whether or not they can stay healthy and see where it goes from there. So, all right, next one, Voldy.
Well, we head to the world of the NFL, and could we quite possibly see the return of Aaron Rodgers after he was unable to retain his reign at his former home in Chicago after sitting out a week with a fractured left wrist. Now, Steelers coach Mike Tomlin said he expects Aaron Rodgers to be ready for the next game that's coming up against the Buffalo Bills this coming Sunday. Now, of course, Mason Rudolph did start for the Steelers this past Sunday, and he wasn't even dressed, that being Rodgers. He was out of the lineup, considering with the wrist that was still notable for sure. Now, after sitting out Wednesday's practice last week, he did wear a stabilizer, was limited as a participant Thursday and Friday of last week. Mum's the word as of right now whether he will be the starting quarterback even after conversations take place with the off day today. We'll see what happens tomorrow, if there's going to be some practice, and even Thursday, especially for Rodgers, if he continues to wear the stabilizer or they have to go into a different direction. But with the conversation taking place and Rodgers after a 4-1 start, the Steelers have not exactly been better off in that area in the win column. Is it absurd to prove the Steelers will be able to capture the same magic that they had with Rodgers earlier this season if he starts against the Buffalo Bills?
No. No. And the reason why I say that is because, and it's not, because you hate him, you don't like him and everything like that. It's like, no, I just don't think he's been that impressive. Right now, he hasn't even reached 2,000 yards yet. He's sitting at 1,969, and he has 19 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, which isn't bad per se. That's a lot of interceptions for a guy that usually doesn't throw too many interceptions. Now, I think their offense is probably average at best. I don't think they're going to light up the scoreboard, but the thing that helps this team is their defense with TJ Watt and Highsmith, obviously. And they are getting to the quarterback. Peyton Wilson's been really good. Patrick Queen. Jalen Ramsey when he's not fighting guys and whatnot. So there's that. But they've played well defensively. I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due to their defense, especially TJ Watt. As well. But I think from their offensive perspective, I just don't think they have enough to keep up with teams like the Colts. I know they lost. I know they beat the Colts and everything like that. But like I don't think they're better than the Chiefs. I don't think they're better than the Broncos. There you go, Alex. There's your deal for that. I just don't think they're. I think you can get to Rodgers. If you get pressure on Rodgers, nowadays, he's made of glass. And quite frankly, if they use the running game with Warren, he's been very good. Kenneth Gainwell has had, actually a really good season as well. So I just think that the Steelers, I don't trust. And obviously Rodgers, he doesn't have that same magic. That you're like, oh God, it's Rodgers. Oh, what are we gonna do and everything? It's like, just get pressure on the guy, and you're good. So, no, I think it's absurd. I don't think they'll have the same magic per se from this season. They're sitting at 6-5. The Ravens are surging. I wouldn't. Burrow's gonna want to come back and play well too, but their defense is a mess. But I think you got to watch out for the Ravens, and I think the Ravens probably end up taking the division because I don't trust the Steelers. So, Voldy, what do you got?
I mean, it's tough to say, especially now with a 40-some-year-old quarterback, fractured left wrist. There's been a little animosity on the field just with the inconsistent play. The defense has certainly held its own end, especially with TJ Watt doing everything that he can to will that defense into the win column. But when the offense doesn't respond, it makes it hard to be able to do anything positive for that. Will they be able to capture the same magic? I'm going to say no, but it's going to be very interesting to see how they are able to compete. I mean, even this past Sunday, Rudolph was definitely in the mix there with the Steelers in keeping things relatively close early on and being competitive against the Bears, but ultimately the Bears were able to sneak on past for that win too. So I'm going to say it's absurd. I don't think the Steelers are able to recapture that same magic. They're going to figure things out there if and when Rodgers does come back, but is it going to do more harm than good if he does come back to be the starter?
We shall see. That's all we can really put with that. All right, next one, Voldy.
Well, we stay in the world of the NFL and, of course, a win on Sunday for the Cleveland Browns. And that was led by fifth-round selection in this past draft, Sheduersanders. Yes, he may have not lit the world on fire, but he did what he had to do to get the win in his first NFL start, 11 of 20 for 209 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and a 24-10 victory for the Cleveland Browns, and the first quarterback since 1950 that I should say since the Browns came back, 1999, I should say, that the rookie quarterback got his first win as a member of the Cleveland Browns, which is amazing to see, being the 42nd quarterback since the Browns came back to Cleveland in 1999. He became the first Cleveland quarterback to win his first NFL start, even further back, 1995, believe it or not. It's been over 30 years. Now, with the success that the Browns did have for Shedeur in his NFL start, and of course, Dillon Gabriel being held out of the game with the concussion protocol, and how the season has gone for the Browns, of course, trading away Joe Flacco, and not a whole lot of positivity, or at least positive thinking early on in the week for Shedeur to be the starter coming into Sunday up until earlier today, when it was announced that Kevin Stefanski and the Browns will be starting Sheduersanders as the quarterback number 1 for this upcoming week. Is it absurd or prove? Should Sheduersanders remain the starting quarterback for the rest of the season?
Well, barring injury, I'm going to give it my stamp of approval. The reason why I'm giving it my stamp of approval, and I said this last week too, that I haven't been the biggest fan of Sheduersanders, especially just kind of how he went about the process and everything like that. And, he can, it seems like he instills confidence in himself by positive self-talk, which is fine. I mean, you do what you do. If you win that, you win that game, you can say whatever you want. But the thing is that this is the NFL. You took on a Raiders team that has been awful. And not saying that, I'm not trying to diminish what happened in that game. He made a couple good throws, and he made some really bad throws too. But it's going to take time, obviously, development, and the whole deal with that, with developing him, seeing how things go as well. But let's see what happens when he goes up against, because we saw what happened when he went against the Ravens. He was pretty bad. But if I'm not, who do they have this week? Who do they got this week? Do we know? Have any indication?
I believe a team that they will be playing is of the NFL.
Oh, the Niners. Oh, Coach Payne's Niners.
Oh, that's
so.
There you go.
It's going to be tough. I mean, their defense is kind of middle of the pack now, but I think he can have success against them. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If they go,
hey, Brock Purdy was turning over the football like crazy.
That's right, 3 times. So. 3 times. Mm-hmm. So there's that to factor in too. But I give him my stamp. I think you just let him play. I mean, obviously back up that talk with winning games, right, and playing well too. So. It's kind of the prove it type of deal, and I think he's got something. I'm not trying to diminish that fact, but I just think sometimes he needs to know when to stop being Shedeur. Kind of okay. I'm just not going to say anything. Move from there. Mm-hmm. But Voldy, what do you got?
I mean, now that he's going into this week and knowing that he is going to be the starting quarterback, I don't see why you change anything for the rest of the season, barring some sort of, like you said, injury or just god-awful play against the Niners this week. I say you ride the hot hand. Dillon Gabriel, he was competitive for sure, but I feel like with the model that you do have with sheduersanders, he has nothing to lose at this point. He was a 5th-round pick of the Cleveland Browns. You might as well have been just walking off the street and into the practice facility and said, I'm ready to play football. But I see it as an opportunity for Shedeur to not only put himself out there, but if things go a certain way, one direction or the other, it could be able to put his name out there for something even broader as well if things don't go the right way, and could very well be putting himself in a position to maybe other teams will start looking into him as a possibility to bring them into their fold as well. Because again, it's a 5th-round selection. No risk, no reward there for the Cleveland Browns, because the Browns front office, the Browns are going to Brown one way or another. They still have Dylan Gabriel. Who knows what'll happen? But again, I see it. You keep Shedeur as a starter for sure, definitely. I don't see why you change anything, especially at this point of the season. You're just looking for some sort of positivity, and the team definitely responded with Shedeur as the starter this past week, and hopefully they can carry that momentum against the Niners and see what happens.
They have a good run game with Judkins. I think he's a very good running back, and I think that helps when you're able to have that play action and make the plays that he was able to make. And their defense, I mean, good Lord. Myles Garrett, unbelievable. I mean, the guy's a monster. He's so goddamn good. And multiple sacks already.
18 sacks already. He's 5 away from breaking the record, which is crazy. And how many weeks we got, 5 weeks left in the season?
I think he might break
including
it.
Yeah, he might break it this week. Who knows?
He could. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The last 3 weeks, he's had 5, 4, and 3. He's had 12 sacks in the last 3 weeks.
He needs to be on a contender. He does. He's just he's too good to not be. So it is what it is. All right, last one, Voldy.
And in the world of college football, Florida State announced that they will be retaining their head football coach, Mike Norvell, heading into his 7th season, pledging to make needed structural changes within the program to enhance performance, as it was announced this past Sunday, of course, after a questionable season that has seen the Florida State Seminoles now at 5-6 on the season, but they could reach the bowl eligibility scale if they beat Florida on Saturday. Of course, in the past 2 years, Florida State 7-16 overall, 3-13 in the ACC. Ever have not had much positivity since winning the ACC title in 2023, missing the college football playoff, and even the subsequent downfall of the last couple seasons has not deterred Florida State from making any sort of structural changes in the coaching ranks. Now with Mike Norvell going into his 7th season, looking like in buyout money, if they were to let him go, about $54 million, but would have owed the staff as a whole $72 million. But right now, I guess Florida State is saying, let's go with the guy to see if he can try and fix it after another season. But is it absurd or proof? Should have Florida State pulled the trigger on letting go of Mike Norvell after what we've seen the last 2 seasons, including this one?
Here's a question. Who are you going to get? And I know he's been with the team for a while now, and people want to see that, change and whatnot. But, they had one of the worst offenses in the country this past year, and now they're one of the best offenses in the country, which is insane in itself. Yeah. So I think there's progression there. The record might not show it, but I think, this is them saying, let's fix this. Let's put it all together next year, because you're going to be on your way out if you can't, turn this around into wins. You got to turn it into wins. And I think they beat Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. I remember watching that game this past year.
Correct. That is correct.
There's something there, man. I really believe that. So I'd say it's got my stamp of approval. I think they made the right decision in hanging on to Norvell. I think it's absurd that they would let him go like that, especially with there's been some strides that they've made this season. The seat might get hot if they lose. I think their last game was
Florida.
this Saturday.
This Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's the
win.
big one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the big one. So, hey, go beat Florida, and they'll be singing your praises. So, it'll be a fun game on Saturday. That'll be good. So,
Definitely.
yeah, I think it's absurd. I think them letting him go would be a mistake at this point. But weirder things have happened. Look at what happened to Brian Kelly, right?
That's true.
James Franklin. So let's go with absurd. I think they made the right decision hanging on to him. So, Voldy, what do you got?
Yeah, I find it very interesting just after the start to the year that they had. They were 3-0, and of course now they're sitting at 5-6. Things have really kind of turned themselves over one direction after the other, especially getting that impressive win against Alabama, but then you lose to Stanford, and then you drop to Virginia in double overtime. There have been some bad losses and some decent wins in there. And just the fact that, like you'd mentioned too, how the offense has really come around too, and especially when they had a quarterback, Tommy Castellanos as well, who actually beat Florida State last year as a member of Boston College. Is great to see how they're able to bring guys in through the portal and how that has really stepped things up for them, for the program as a whole. And like you said, who are they going to get if they did let go Mike Norvell? Barring them paying top dollar and giving the whole house, car, and keys to Deion Sanders, I don't think they'd find anybody decent enough to steer that program one direction or the other. So I think with Norvell now going into his 7th year, thinking that maybe after the last couple of years being rough, that they could definitely steer things in the right direction to hopefully find some sort of magic that they did have with that 2023 season, just missing out on the college football playoff after being undefeated and going in and winning the ACC, and especially a year that's been very different with the changes in the conference realignment, of course, NIL, the portal and everything. Them pulling the trigger to let him go, I think it's absurd. I think they should definitely stay hold, especially, just at this point of the season. I think now it's all about what do you have to go with going into, of course, off season, the January portal transfer window, and then obviously spring ball in the next 4 or 5 months for sure are definitely going to be something to take into consideration. So I think it's absurd. I think they definitely should have kept keeping him is the right move for Florida State.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, as Case Keenum once said. As well. You had to throw that in there. But
yes, sir.
Great job with ARA this week, Voldy, as always. And we got those Shield shoutouts. We have a good list of Shield shoutouts tonight. Let's get it going with some Shield shoutouts.
Shield shoutouts.
For old time's sake.
And it's time for Shield shoutouts. Ka-shing, ka-shing.
Ka-shing, ka-shing. Voldy, who you shouting at tonight?
Well, of course, we do have to wish everybody happy, healthy, and a safe Thanksgiving coming up here, of course, on Thursday. Hopefully everybody is able to spend time with their loved ones and enjoy the time that they have together. Safe travels, especially with the hellacious weather the last few hours has brought to, especially around here and, of course, across the state. Western side of Minnesota is basically shut down on I-94 west of all the way to North and South Dakota borders as well. That wonderful time of year. So hopefully everybody gets to their destination safely and enjoys that time with their family coming up here, Thursday, if they took the day off of work on Friday, and the weekend coming up too. Do want to send a shout out to former St. Cloud Tech Tiger and Minnesota Golden Gopher tight end Brevynspannford, who caught his first NFL touchdown on Sunday as a member of the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles, which ultimately ended up being a Cowboys win.
Inevitable.
And finally, here today, to former Bemidji State 2 sports star, athlete, and former Patriots wide receiver, Gunnar Olszewski, who threw his first NFL touchdown pass. He's a wide receiver and launched it to infamous Jameiswinston, setting up quite possibly the greatest highlight of a beloved athlete that transcends teams, sports, all of the same way. Bartolo Colon's home run versus the Padres is an ultimate landmark moment of one of those. Where were you when it happened? A truly unforgettable moment from both ends of the spectrum for Gunnar Olszewski finding Jameis into the end zone. Touchdown. That's going to do it for Shield Shoutouts this week.
I love it. That was so cool. And Jameis, he like spun off the guy. He broke that tackle. I couldn't believe it. I thought he was going down, and he was able to score.
Just threw him out of the club.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Oh, gosh. Literally. But brevynspannford, he was a hell of a tight end for the Gophers, and
yes, sir.
Good for him as well. And yes, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Thank you for tuning in. We had to make some adjustments, obviously, because usually we do the show on Wednesdays. But this week, obviously, Tuesday, Voldy's got Granite City Lumberjacks stuff happening this week as well. So make sure you check out everything with the Jacks as well coming up here this Thanksgiving week. Guys, you know what else you can do? Get those picks in early. Why the heck not, right? Get them in before you guys get going with Thanksgiving. Just get them done. Get them done right now if you really want. And, congrats to Jason on winning this week. I gotta order his sweatpants now because we don't have mediums. Yep. we gotta order it. So we'll order that for Jason.
Maybe wait to order after Thanksgiving. See if he bumps up a size or so. Just to be safe.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a very good point. The other thing too, before we get into thanking all of our people here, Voldy, we got those hats, baby. We got those awesome looking hats. Yes, take a look. You guys have your choice of the Minnesota Wild colors, Vikings colors, and the Gophers colors as well. If you want the Sky U Ma, if you want the Purple Pride, if you want the Let's Go Wild, we got it for you. Make sure you check those out. You know the deal, $20, $5 shipping, Venmo me, Venmo Voldy. We will set you up. The St. Thomas ones, I will search. My investigation will begin after the show, and we'll go from there. So, and if you guys are like, I'm kind of feeling the hunting hats or some, we got those too. We got the camo. We got the there we go. There's the plethora of hats that we have.
These
and
are
who
all
knows?
just the samples of hats that we have. We're double digits in the different styles of hats we have. We've got, of course, the new ones with the Vikings. We've got the ones with the Wild, the Gophers. Of course, these new ones right here, they've got a little something special on the side here, saying keep it in the zone on top of it. Of course, you've got the Hunter Orange. You've got the Neon Green. You've got the black with the MinneZona on the front. You've got the 5th anniversary, not one, but 2 different colorways like Matt's got on top of it. Our final Adidas MinneZona Sports Live collab on top of it. And, of course, the OGs with the Digi Camo and the Stars and Stripes. We've got options. Get them while they're still here because they ain't going to be around much longer.
That's right.
Be sure to get that holiday shopping started the right way by supporting your favorite podcast.
Super-duper early, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Get that going. We got the sweatpants. We got the quarter zips. Especially with the snow coming, you guys are going to want that kind of stuff. The winter hats, very popular as well. Make sure you get those. And you got the shirts, got the stickers. Look at that. The winter cap. It's awesome. Probably wear it tomorrow. So make sure you have that ready for winter. Thank you to National Fleet Graphic and Tyler Knutson and Crown Rental for the stickers. Thank you to W2 Performance. Will Rattel at www.w2performance.com. He's doing some awesome stuff. Guy looks ripped out of his mind. I mean, he knows what he's doing. Shout out the Brotherly Ballers podcast. Tyler Hermann, Jack Vickers. Make sure you guys get all your fantasy football needs from them. TLS Performance, our guy Troy Stoudemire Jr. I'm sure he will be keeping a close eye on those Gophers and the Badgers here this weekend. So I'm sure Troy will love watching the game against those damn Badgers. Popcorn Bucket List, our guy Nick Dahlhoff and Rhino Meyerberg as well. Omni Entertainment. They got some new stuff happening, all the movies that have come out and whatnot. Make sure you get caught up on all the latest movies, the reviews that they give, and all the fun that they have on Popcorn Bucket List, Omni Entertainment. Check them out on the YouTube, social medias. You know the deal. So, with that being said, that's going to do it for episode 262. A little long one because we were ranting about the Vikings and certain national media people and whatnot. So we had to get that off our chest. Skull Vikes, hopefully a miracle can happen again. I'm just kidding. We'll see. I mean, I'm looking forward to it just to see how Brosmer does and whatnot. I'm not expecting a win. I just let's just show some life, please. Please, for the love of God. So we'll see what happens come Sunday. Go Gophs, go Wild, go Wolves, the whole deal. So that being said, Voldy, as always, end zoners, keep in the zone.
Holla.
Thank you for watching MinneZona Sports Live. Join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. for live show broadcast. And as Voldy likes to say, follow us on all the socials medias.